Okay, here.
Hi everyone, I'm Erica Perl and I'm a children's author, and every week on Winging It, I read from my books. I do a read aloud every Tuesday at 2. But this Tuesday, we are winging it slightly differently because today I am doing a May I Bring a Friend episode of Winging It. See, my plan originally was to read from my book Arnold and Louise. I was going to read Arnold and Louise Lost and Found, which is a friendship story about Arnold, this big brown bear, and Louise, this small brown chipmunk, and how Louise always loses Arnold's things and Arnold gets very, very frustrated with her. But here's the thing. This week did not go as planned. And I thought to myself, this might be a good time to wing it some more by putting Arnold and Louise aside and focusing on a different book, a book that really speaks to what I'm feeling this week. So, Arnold and Louise, I'm going to put you back on the shelf and I'm going to introduce a friend book. Now, you guys noticed that I said, May I Bring a Friend? That is actually a book reference too. It's a reference to one of my favorite books, May I Bring a Friend? In May I Bring a Friend, the narrator talks about going over to the king and the queen's house and finding out whether friends are allowed. So I'm going to read a tiny little bit of this book in order to introduce you to my friend book, Last Stop on Market Street. So this book is by Beatrice Schenck de Renier, and it is illustrated by Benny Montresor. And as you can see from the cover, look at this. Caldecott metal. Pretty cool. Guess what else has a medal? Or two. May I Bring a Friend? And this is a Simon & Schuster book, I should add. The king and queen invited me to come to their house on Sunday for tea. I told the queen, and the queen told the king I had a friend I wanted to bring. The king told the queen, my dear, any friend of our friend is welcome here. So I brought my friend. Now, the same is true on Winging It. On Winging It, any friend is welcome. So you can come to Winging It and bring your friends, and I want to introduce you to my friends. And this book here is a very dear friend of mine. One of the neat things about writing books is that you get to meet other people who write books. And this is written by Matt de la Peña, and it is illustrated by Christian Robinson. And the book is Last Stop on Market Street, and it is published by Penguin. So let's look inside. And as I said, this book won not one, not two, but several medals. I wish I had copies with medals on the cover, but I have had this book so long, I had it from before it won the medals. And as you can see right here, it's actually signed. Yeah, by my friend Matt, who wrote it. Last Stop on Market Street. CJ pushed through the church doors, skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. You see, there's CJ. There's his grandma. He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus in all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," his Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but never saw a straw. There's CJ and Nana. They're standing. You see the puddle reflecting them? Standing by that big tree. It's the page. From the bus stop, he watched water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. "Hey, Nana, how come we don't got a car?" There's Colby waving. CJ waving back. "Boy, what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire. and old Mr. Dennis, who always has a trick for you. The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. Do you see the fire-breathing dragon on the side? I wonder if it's making noises like a dragon as it shows up, that big bus noise. CJ climbs on. "What's that I see?" Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear, placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a good afternoon. She made sure CJ did the same. Is your Nana like that? She talked to strangers on the bus? I'm kind of a person who talks to strangers on the bus, if they're nice. The bus lurched forward and stopped. Lurched forward and stopped. You know that feeling? Nana hummed as she knit. "How come we always gotta go here after church?" CJ said. "Miguel and Colby never have to go nowhere." "I feel sorry for those boys," she told him. "They'll never get a chance to meet Bobo or the sunglasses man. And I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat." CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars zip by on either side, watched a group of boys hop curbs on bikes. What do you think CJ's feeling right now? He's feeling a little bummed out, feeling like, why does he have to go? Feeling like it's not fair. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. "How come that man can't see?" "Boy, what do you know about seeing?" Nana told him. "Some people watch the world with their ears." "That's a fact. Their noses, too," the man said, sniffing at the air. "That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am." Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in the back. "Sure wish I had one of those," he said. Nana set down her knitting. "What for?" What do you think he's talking about? Looks like they're listening to something on an iPod or something. Maybe listening to music on a phone. Nana set down her knitting. "What for? You got the real live thing sitting across from you. Why don't you ask that man if he'll play us a song?" CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. "To feel the magic of music," the blind man whispered, "I like to close my eyes." Nana closed hers too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus, out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves, saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky, saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full, and he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feeling of magic. The song ended, and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in the back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. Remember the coin he got from Mr. Dennis? CJ dropped it in the man's hat. "Last stop on Market Street," Mr. Dennis called. Time to get off the bus. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti-tagged windows and boarded-up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. "How come it's always so dirty over here?" She smiled and pointed to the sky. "Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what's beautiful." CJ saw the perfect rainbow arcing over their soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again, and at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamps still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. When he spotted, Nope, I didn't. When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, "I'm glad we came." He thought his Nana might laugh, her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, "Me too, CJ. Now come on." And there's CJ and his Nana serving up food, giving it to everyone at the soup kitchen, spending their day helping others in their community. And then, at the end of the day, look, they're waiting for the bus again. CJ's reading. Nana, it looks like she's knitting again. And their umbrella is right there because the rain has gone away. And now it's sunny outside. And that is Last Stop on Market Street, which is my May I Bring a Friend book today on Winging It. And I'm really glad that I got the chance to share it with you. It's not a book that I wrote, but it's definitely a book I wish I wrote because it expresses a lot of things that I feel too. So the neat thing about Winging It, as I like to tell you guys, is that every week we sort of make things up as we go along. And one great way to make things up is by telling stories and reading stories. And there are so many different stories about so many different experiences. So today I filled my bookshelves. I pulled books from my bookshelves and I put them face out to share some books with you that are more friend books, as you'll see on this display, which are stories that I'm reading right now and rereading and sharing. And I hope that you will read books about all sorts of different experiences and you will raise your voice about your experience to unite you with other people, because that's what we're doing right now, here on Winging It and out in the world. So, thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday with 2. What are we going to do then? I'm not really sure. I might read something I wrote. I might read something that a friend wrote. I might do something completely unexpected because that's how things work on Winging It. So, I'm going to encourage you to do some reading, do some writing, do some sign making, perhaps, and raise your voice. And wash your wings, please. Always wash those wings. And I'll see you again next week, Tuesday at 2, here on Winging It. Thanks, everyone. Bye.